Okay, so San Francisco voters, you've got this ballot in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And you're probably looking at Proposition B like,
Yeah.
what is this thing?
$390 million.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. And it sounds good at first, right? Like, who doesn't want better health care?
Right. Safer streets, solutions to homelessness, like sign me up.
Yeah, where do I sign?
Right.
But
But there's always a but. Right.
always a but.
Yeah, and today we're doing a deep dive on Proposition B. And we're going to specifically be looking at the Ballot Simplification Committee meeting. So Proposition B covers a lot of different things.
It does. It's a very broad bond measure. So we're talking community health centers.
Right.
Things like Chinatown Public Health Center, relocation of city clinic, seismic retrofits and repairs for Zuckerberg, San Francisco General Hospital, Laguna Honda Hospital.
Huge projects.
Yeah,
Well,
millions and millions of dollars.
Exactly. And then you get into things like street and sidewalk safety projects, improvements to downtown public spaces. Harvey Milk Plaza specifically mentioned.
Okay.
And then,
You know, they throw in some money for parks and rec centers, shelters, and interim housing to reduce family homelessness.
okay, we're going to get to that
We're going to unpack things.
because that's a whole other can of worms.
Yes.
But it's just interesting because it's just like this huge, like everything but the kitchen sink kind of bond measure.
When you go back to how this is presented, the city provides and maintains public facilities and infrastructure. That's it.
That's it.
Before launching into this $390 million request for improvements.
So wait, they're not saying what's wrong.
It's just like,
So they're just saying
we need to improve things.
everything's fine.
Which, like, yeah, things could always be improved.
Sure, of course.
Right. But it does make you wonder, like, what are the specific problems they're trying to solve?
Right. What are we talking about here?
Give me some context.
Yes.
And this is where things get even more interesting,
Okay.
because this is where the money comes in.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
So if you've had a chance to look at the voter information pamphlet, there's a section in there with the arguments for and against Proposition B.
Okay.
Now, here's the kicker. Every single argument in favor of Proposition B, paid for by the same organization, Healthy, Vibrant SF.
Healthy, Vibrant SF. And who are they? What do they do?
Well, according to the pamphlet,
Yeah.
their three biggest donors are the San Francisco General Hospital Foundation,
Okay.
De Silva Gates Construction, and an individual named Joseph Grubb.
Hold on. Back up. San Francisco General Hospital Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
That's the hospital that would benefit from this bond.
One of them, yes.
Right.
One of the big ones.
Right. And then who was the other one?
De Silva Gates Construction.
So they would
potentially bid on these projects. So you've got this situation where a single organization,
right.
funded by groups that have a vested interest in this bond passing,
Totally.
are controlling the narrative in those pro-Proposition B arguments.
So we have this group that has skin in the game, basically controlling the pro arguments in the pamphlet.
It does make you wonder, doesn't it?
It does make you wonder.
And speaking of potentially misleading language, there's another fascinating moment that we need to unpack.
Lay it on me.
So during the public comment period, an individual who's representing the mayor's office
Okay.
suggests adding the word family before homelessness in the bond summary.
Okay, so what's the problem with that?
Yeah.
Family homelessness sounds pretty straightforward.
It does on the surface.
Yeah.
Right. But let's actually listen to his exact words.
Thank you, Chair Packer, and members of the committee on raised power with the mayor's office. First of all, thank you for all this work today. I have a couple just very minor comments. So in the under the proposal section in the bullet that refers to homelessness, I would suggest that we add the language, the word where it says sites to reduce. I would add family homelessness, because if you read the actual language of the measure, it really is focused on family homelessness, which is a departure for the city, as opposed to single adult homelessness solutions.
A departure for the city.
Interesting choice of words.
Interesting. Because on one hand, you could say, yeah, family homelessness is a serious issue.
Of course, absolutely.
Right. And we should focus on that.
But is it the only issue?
Right. And framing it as like, oh, this is a departure almost makes it seem like.
Right, like a shift in priorities.
Like we're not going to, like single adults are on their own.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right, which may or may not be the case. We don't know.
It's just interesting word choice, I think.
This is all about voter psychology, right? How do you present this information in a way that gets people to vote the way you want them to vote?
Right. And family homelessness definitely tugs at the heartstrings.
Right, because homelessness, people have different feelings about that.
People have opinions, yeah.
People have strong opinions about it.
Yeah.
But family homelessness, it's like who doesn't... It's hard to argue with that.
Right. Nobody wants to see a family on the street.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And that's not to say that that's not a worthy cause.
Hell, of course not.
Right. But it's just, again, the framing is very interesting.
Framing is very interesting.
And the fact that the committee just kind of goes along with it.
Right. They don't even bat an eye.
They spend like an hour debating the nuances of street versus road.
Right.
But this family homelessness thing just kind of sails right through.
I do thank Alex for coming up with the family homelessness, because I did notice that when I was reading the legislation, and it kind of went over my head. So I think that is an important point of the measure. So I would include it. Do I have any opposition? Okay.